Come on, student. How are you? I hope that all you are fine. Now, let us take a class in geometry that is related to lines and angles. You know the importance of geometry? Geometry is one of the most important topics at the school level. And the geometry plays a very important role, particularly for any type of competitive examinations. Right from, you take in your APRJC or Polytechnic, or you take even if any bank examinations or any kind of competitive examinations, this geometry plays a very, very important role. So having the basic concepts of the geometry is highly essential for any student, particularly for high school student. Now I think you know the pretty well. So if you take it is said to be a line because it doesn't have any endpoints. It's a line. We can extend this line towards right. We can also extend this line towards left infinitely. But if this line has got any two fixed points, say A, B, the part of the line between these two fixed points is said to be a line segment. Think very carefully. A line segment contains two endpoints, whereas line does not contain any endpoint. I hope that you are following. A line does not contain any endpoints, but line segment contains two endpoints. Okay. Now let us take what happens if there is only one point, and this is giving an indication that A is the fixed point, and towards right we can extend this line segment to any extent with the arrow. Observe figure 1, observe figure 2, observe figure 3. What do we say here? So here figure 1 is a line. Here figure 2 is a line segment and figure 3 is a ray. A ray contains one endpoint. A line segment contains two endpoints. And the line does not contain any endpoints. Clear? So now here comes another pointer. If two lines are there, and these, say if you take the first line, here point A is there, point B is there, point C is there. We take point P, point Q, and point R. Observe very carefully. Any, let us say this line is L and this line is M. Observe very carefully. A belongs to L, C belongs to L, and B belongs to L. And P belongs to M, Q belongs to M, and R belongs to M. Remember very carefully, none of the points of L belong to M. Similarly, none of the points of M belong to L. What does it indicate? It indicates that these two lines do not have any common point. These two lines do not have any common point. Clear? I told that what is a line? A line can be extended to any extent, either from the right side or left side. It doesn't have any endpoints. So here, if you take these two lines, and these two lines do not have any common point, we say that these two lines are parallel lines. My question here is, do the parallel lines contain any common points? No, they do not contain any common point. Remember very, very carefully, the parallel lines do not contain any common point. Clear? Okay, now let us think that here, let us say here we got two line segments. Let us take one more line L. Okay, I'm talking about line, please. Remember the difference very, very carefully. The line and the line segment. The line and the line segment. A line does not contain any endpoint. A line segment contains two endpoints. Clear? Now here, M is a line, and N is a line, and P is a line. What is the difference between M, N, and P? If you think very carefully, M intersects L at one point, and N intersects L at one point. Say point P, say point Q. In what way I can say L is different from M and N? In what way L is different from M and N? So here M intersects at one point and N intersects at another point, only one point. If you think about L intersects at 2 points. Is there a difference between N and L or not? Observe very carefully here. M intersects at one point, N intersects at one point, but L intersects at 2 points. So here, this L is said to be the transversal. L is said to be transversal. So what do you mean by transversal? A transversal is a line which intersects the two or more lines. A transversal is a line which intersects two or more lines. So here, can you say, is M a transversal? Any of your doubts, you can keep in the chat box, please. Any of your doubts, you can keep in the chat box. Clear? So here, is M a transversal? M is not a transversal. Why? Because it intersected at only one point. Is N a transversal? No, because it intersects at only one point. Is L a transversal? Yes, it is. Why? Because it intersects at 2 points. Let us say one more. Let us take one more line. Okay, for example, and let us take point R here. In this case, L is intersecting at 3 points. So if intersects at 2 or more than 2 points, then it is a transversal. So here L is a transversal. Is K a transversal? K is not a transversal. Why? Because it intersects at only one line segment. Clear? So now here, any changes, sir?
7 seconds. 7.
1. Okay. Sorry, okay. Okay. కెమెరా కి ఎక్కువ చూడాలా? కెమెరా కి ఎక్కువ చూడాలా? ఓకే, ఆల్రైట్. ఓకే. ఆ మెసేజ్ అక్కడ సైడ్కి ఇస్తారా?
ఇక్కడ వస్తుంది సార్, మీకు చాట్ బాక్స్ ఇక్కడ వచ్చేస్తుంది.
ఏదైనా కనిపించింది నాకు, మెసేజ్ కనిపించింది.
ఫుల్ పెట్టారు సార్,
అది చిన్న డిస్ప్లే
అట్లా రాస్తారు.
సో మరి ఎట్లాగా
అంటే ఒక నిమిషం సార్, ఫుల్ స్క్రీన్ పెడతాను సార్. సైజ్ ఇంక్రీజ్ చేసినా కానీ సైజ్ అంటే నీకు వెంటనే వెళ్ళిపోతుంది.
అంతా ఇంట్లో కనిపించండి. ఓకే, రేటింగ్. So now let us take here M is the line and N is the line and
background black పెడితే వైట్ గా ఉంటుంది కదా. పాస్ చేసిన వైట్ కనబడుతుంది ఏమన్నా బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ సార్ వైట్ షర్ట్ కనబడుతుంది
Green.
ఇది హైడ్
Okay.
సార్
So now here,
పాస్ చేశాను సార్
let us take two lines, M and N.
పాస్ చేశాను సార్
Let us take
ప్లే
P. Here, P is a transversal. Let us take this, the arrays column marker. అంటే మోడరేట్ తక్కువ చూడాలంటే
ఇటు సైడ్ ఎక్కువ సెట్ అవుతుంది ఈతలు కొంచెం
So now this L transversal is intersecting at point P. Here 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 angles are formed. So what do we mean by an angle? An angle is formed by two straight lines with a common end point. And the portion is so here A is a common point, and this is a line, and this is a line. And these two lines have got a common point here. That's why here you can say this is an angle. So here, if you think very carefully, at point P, here is L and here is M, and they have got a common point P, so an angle is formed. So here, if you think about it, here we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 angles we got. Got 8 angles. In these 8 angles, let us say M and 2 lines are there. These 2 lines, within these 2 lines, within the interior of these 2 lines, we have some angles. They are 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. These 3, 4, 5 and 6 are the angles between the 2 lines M and N. So these 4 angles are said to be the interior angles. These 4 angles, I mean 3, 4, 5 and 6. These angles are said to be the interior angles. Think about the angles above N and below N. Above N we have 1 and 2, and below N we have 7 and 8. So these 1 and 1, 2, 7 and 8, these are said to be the exterior angles. So think very carefully, how many interior angles are there and how many exterior angles are there. We have here 4 interior angles, we have here 4 exterior angles. And also observe very carefully, we told L is a transversal. Here L is a transversal. And observe very carefully, if you think about L transversal, there are certain angles on the right side of L and certain angles on the left side of the L. So here, if you take about 2, 3, 6 and 7, 2, 3, 6 and 7, they are on the right side of the transversal. Then you take 1, 4, 5 and 6, 5 and 8, they are on the left side of the transversal. So here 2, 3, 6 and 7 are the angles same side on the transversal. Similarly here 1, 4, 5 and 8 are the angles on the same side of the transversal. So think very carefully. In these angles, if you consider on the same side the transversal, certain angles are exterior and certain angles are interior. So if you take a 3 and 6, 3 and 6, they are the two interior angles. And these two interior angles are on the same side of the transversal. So here you can say this 3 and 4, 3 and 6 are the angles on the same side of the transversal. And so these angles which are on the same side, which are on the same side of the transversal and which are also interior, then we call them as the consecutive interior angles. That are consecutive interior angles. Similarly, you can say this 2 and 7 are the consecutive exterior angles. So think very carefully, and also you can say 4 and 5 are the consecutive interior angles. And we can also see them as co-interior angles. You can also call them as the co-interior angles. So here, now any doubts related to interior angles and any doubts related to exterior angles? Just a minute. So think very carefully how these interior angles and exterior angles are. And if you think very carefully here, say we can say that another important thing here is to involve very carefully. If let us say M, let us say M. M is a line and N is a line. These two lines are intersecting at one point. Say P. In this P here, P is a common point. So at this common point, we can say that 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 angles are formed. And these 4 angles, if you think very carefully, this is the common vertex. If you take 2 and 4, they are on the opposite sides of the vertex. Opposite sides of the vertex. So we call these 2 and 4, as vertically opposite angles. Vertically opposite angles. And remember very carefully, vertically opposite angles are always equal. Vertically opposite angles are always equal. So we can say angle 2 is equal to angle 4. Angle 2 is equal to angle 4. Similarly, if you think about 1 and 3, these two are also vertically opposite angles. So you can say that these two angles are equal. So think very carefully. the vertically opposite angles are equal. When two lines intersect each other, their four angles are formed. Among these four angles, the vertically opposite angles are equal. So now here, so we think very carefully. Let us take the angles on the same side of the transversal. Let us take 2. 2 is the exterior angle. What can you say about 2? 2 is an exterior angle. And then you take 6. 6 is the interior angle. What can you say about 2 and 6? 2 and 6 are on the same side of the transversal. Okay? Other thing here, 2 and 6 are not exterior angles. Both of them are not exterior angles. Only one is exterior angle. One is interior. So here, the angles formed on the same side of the transversal, and if one angle is exterior and the other angle is the interior, these two angles are said to be the corresponding angles. How to recognize the corresponding angles? First, they must be on the same side of the transversal. Okay? Second thing, both of them should not be interior or both of them should not be exterior. One must be exterior and the other must be interior. So, such angles are said to be the corresponding angles. So, think very carefully. How can we recognize the corresponding angles? So, we can recognize the corresponding angles. First condition, they must be on the same side of the transversal. First condition. So, is 3 and 6 are the corresponding angles? No. Why not? Because both of them are the interior angles. So, how it should be? One should be interior, another should be exterior. Is 2 and 7 are the corresponding angles? No. Why? They no doubt. They fulfill one condition, they are on the same side of the transversal. But other condition, if one is exterior and the other must be interior. If you take 2 and 6, both of them are exterior. So 2 and 7 are not the corresponding angles. So here 2 and 6 are the corresponding angles. Similarly, if you take 3 and 7, are they corresponding angles or not? Yes, they are corresponding angles. Why? Because they are on the same side of the transversal. First point. Second point, one is interior and the other is exterior. So remember very carefully how to identify the corresponding angles. In this context, what do we say 2 and 4? What do we say 2 and 4? 2 and 4 are the vertically opposite angles. Think here also another important point. The vertically opposite angles, one is exterior and the other is the interior. So here 1 and 3 are the vertically opposite. Now for example, if 1 is 70 degrees, how much is angle 3? 3 is also 70 degrees. Why? Because they are the vertically opposite angles. Okay? Another important point here, let us say for example here, let us take a line P and let us KL is making two angles on line P, 1 and 2 angles. And these 1 and 2 angles are said to be the straight angle because these two angles put together is forming a straight line. Remember very carefully, straight angle is 180 degrees. Straight angle is 180 degrees. In this case, if you think about 1 and 2, that 1 plus 2 is equal to 180 degrees. If you take 2 plus 3, 180 degrees. 6 plus 7, 180 degrees. 5 plus 8, 180 degrees. Because they form a straight angle. Clear? So now think very carefully. We are talking about the corresponding angles. In these corresponding angles, remember the point very carefully that the first condition, they must be on the same side of the transversal. The second condition, both of them, one must be exterior and the other must be interior. So, another important point, let us say for example, M and N are the parallels. Just to like that, the parallels do not contain any common point. So here, if two lines are parallel and if transversal is gone, the corresponding angles are equal. The corresponding angles are equal. So here 3 and 7 are the corresponding angles. So 3 is equal to angle 7. Similarly, 2 and 6 are the corresponding angles. So you can say angle 2 is equal to angle 6. So similarly here you can say angle 4 is equal to angle 8. And you can also say that angle 1 is equal to angle 5. So here 3 is equal to angle 7. They are the corresponding angles. Here 2 is equal to 6 corresponding angles. 4 is equal to 8 corresponding angles. And 1 is equal to 5 corresponding angles. So if two lines are parallel, the corresponding angles are equal. Remember another important thing very carefully here. I am talking about, say for example, angle 2 is there. Angle 2 here is equal to angle 4. I can say angle 2 is equal to angle 4. Why angle 2 is equal to angle 4? So here angle 2 is equal to angle 4. Why? Because they are the vertically opposite angles. That's the vertically opposite angles. Now I can say here angle 1 is equal to angle 5. Here. Why angle 1 is equal to angle 5 here? Why angle 1 is equal to angle 5? Angle 1 is equal to angle 5 because they are the angle 1 is equal to angle 5 because they are the corresponding angles. So think very carefully. This part of idea is highly essential for all these things. About the corresponding angles, about the vertically opposite angles, about the adjacent interior angles or co-interior angles. What I am telling is co-interior angles. Co-interior angles, or you can also call them as adjacent interior angles. So another important thing what I mean to say here. Now I can say that let us see how we can prove angle 3 plus angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees. Now this concept is nothing but the sum of the interior angles on the same side of the transversal are supplementary. Remember the word very carefully, supplementary here. Now we have to prove that angle 3 and angle 6 are supplementary. Okay. So here let us say angle 3 and angle 6 are, let us prove that angle 3 and angle 6 are supplementary. Okay. So now here You know that angle 1 and angle 1 plus angle 2 are straight angle, nothing but supplementary. Angle 1 plus angle 2 here. But here you can say in the place of angle 1, I can write angle 3 because they are the vertical opposite angles. And in the place of angle 2, I can write as 6 because they are the corresponding angles. So angle 1 angle 1 is equal to angle 3 and angle 3 is equal to angle 6. So this is nothing but angle 1 plus angle 2 and that is nothing but 180 degrees. So if you think about that, angle 3 and angle 6, they are the interior angles on the same side of the transversal. So remember very carefully, the interior angles and the co-interior angles on the same side of the transversal is 180 degrees. Okay? So then, let us go to this, do this exercise please here. Now find the value of x here. So observe very carefully. This is one of the important points for that. I can say this, sir. We are expected here to find x. Let us identify any angle related to here. Angle 7 is given for us. Angle 7 is given. Now this angle 7 is the corresponding angle to angle 3. So now I can say angle 3 is equal to angle 7. Angle 3 is equal to angle 7. We can also say angle 3 is equal to angle x. Angle 3 is equal to angle x. Here on LHS, angle 3 is angle 3, here angle 3. Here the LHS are equal. The LHS are equal, the RHS are equal. So now I can say x is equal to angle 7. Angle 7 is equal to 120 degrees. So think this very carefully. Now here, to go for the another problem. And one of the important things here is to remember very carefully. If you think about L and M, they are parallel, and N is a transversal. Observe here 84 degrees and y degrees. These two are the interior angles, no doubt. These two are the interior angles. And what is the difference here? But these two angles are not on the same side of the transversal. They are on the different sides. So we will call them as a interior alternate angles. Interior alternate angles. So here think it very carefully. These are said to be the interior alternate angles. These interior alternate angles are always equal. Here we call them as the alternate angles and interior alternate angles. So if this is 84 degrees, how much is this angle? You know here, this angle 1 and angle 2. These two angles form the straight angle. Straight angle is equal to 180 degrees. If this is 84 degrees, how much is angle 2? So it is, of course, 96 degrees. So if angle 1 is 90 degrees, how much is angle 84 degrees? And how much is angle y? Y is here 84 degrees. If y is 84 degrees, what you can say about this? This is also 96 degrees. So think very carefully what we observe here. So n is the transversal, and here this 96 degrees here is the exterior angle on one side of the transversal. Similarly here, this 96 is the exterior angle on that side, other side of the transversal. These two are the exterior angles and these two are the alternate angles. So think very carefully. The alternate, the alternate exterior angles are always equal. Here we can remember the concept here. Alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. But think here, alternate exterior angles are nothing but they are on the different sides of the transversal and they are the exterior angles. Okay. So now here, so what do we learn here? So two things are important here. What I'm talking in this concept from this diagram, we can learn two things. Number one, always alternate angles are equal. Here, alternate angles we can take two things, please. Alternate interior angles are equal and alternate exterior angles are also equal. Other concept what I'm telling here, the co-interior angles, co-interior angles of they must be on the same side are supplementary. Co-interior angles are the supplementary. Think very carefully. What did this diagram say about it? This diagram say about the first point. What do you mean by transversal? And here, what are the angles on the same side of the transversal? What are the interior angles? And what are the exterior angles? Similarly here, alternate interior angles, alternate exterior angles. Other important point, the co-interior angles are supplementary. This concept must be very careful, please. Now, the last one.
Yes.
Now here, what is x? So it is based on the sum of the pointed angles. So the sum of the pointed angles are supplementary here. So here x plus 110 is equal to 180, therefore x is equal to 70 degrees. Like that, you will be in a position to do many of the things, please. So now, so if two lines are parallel, a pair of alternate interior angles are equal. Let us see how we can prove it, please. So here, if two lines are parallel, a pair of alternate interior angles are equal. So think about a pair of alternate interior angles here. Say, if you take a triangle, these two are the alternate interior angles. So here I have to prove that, how is it angle, I have to prove that angle BQR is equal to angle QRC. Right, to prove that angle BQR is equal to angle QRC. So here, if angle BQR is equal to angle QRC, then we have to prove that AB is parallel to CD. Now let us to prove this part. But to show that AB is parallel to CD. So now here we can say that if you take angle BQR, this angle BQR, observe very carefully, angle BQR. And this BQR, I can say is equal to angle PAQ. This is angle PQA. Why angle BQR? Why angle BQR here? Why angle BQR is equal to angle PQA? Why they are equal here? Because they are vertically opposite angles here. So now again, if you think about it very carefully, I can say this. Let us take angle QRC. Angle QRC. To take angle QRC, I can say it is equal to angle PQA. It's also equal to angle PQA. Why? Because I'm talking about angle QRC, PQA. These are the here vertically opposite angles. These are the corresponding angles. So here, if you observe very carefully, angle PQA on right hand side, the two angles are equal. Therefore, the left hand side angles are also equal. Therefore, you can say angle BQR is equal to angle QRC. Now BQR is equal to angle QRC. They are the vertically opposite angles. The vertically opposite means interior opposite angles. These are the interior. The interiorly opposite angles are equal. Then you can say here AB is parallel to CD. By taking this interior opposite angles, interior alternate angles. Okay. So now here, think very carefully. How can you prove this? So now here, let us find out how much is the angle here. This is 110 degrees. So think very carefully. What you can say about these things? You think closer and
Side closer. Side.
anyway.
Correct, sir. Correct.
So here, the given angle and the angle that is that we are trying out on the same side of the transversal. Okay. So now here, this is the exterior angle here. So you can say here, and this is also exterior angle. And this, let us say this angle is x. So now here, how much is angle x if this is, so you can say x is equal to 110 degrees. Because how can you say that x is equal to 110 degrees, sir? How can you say x is equal to 110 degrees? Here, they are the, what kind of angles are these two? These two are the exterior alternate angles. So exterior alternate angles are equal. Therefore, angle x is equal to 110 degrees. And what is it here? Angle x and these two form a straight angle. X and these two form a straight angle. So here, angle x and these two put together is 180 degrees. Why? Because it is a straight angle. Understand? And so because of the straight angle, we can say it should be 180 minus 110, that is equal to 70 degrees. Like this, we can find out the value space. So think very carefully. The knowledge of the parallels, the knowledge of the transversal, the knowledge of the different kinds of angles, whatever we learned today. I mean, exterior angles, interior angles, vertically opposite angles, angles on the same side of the transversal, angles on the different side of the transversal. All these things will play a very, very important role, I mean, in our future classes. So thank you and God bless.